Then I kind of also wanted to ask everybody, what did you think of the format of the theory questions and whether that, anything about that surprised you or anybody, felt like they had any like tips or something along those lines, just because the way the theory questions are structured in D3 is different than for any other unit. And so like in the other diploma units, the questions are written, according to the, and you kind of figure out the length of your answers based on the percentage weighting. And so if you have a question that's weighted 10%, you're going to write less than if it's weighted 50%, right? And you can kind of figure out your timings based on, how long the exam is. But for D3, every exam question, they budget 40 minutes for you to answer. And so they're meant to be pretty in-depth kind of questions. And so I think it requires a little bit of a different focus. And so I would just kind of love to hear if anybody else noticed that, or if you found it easier or more difficult to manage, maybe. Mike, I see you nodding.
Yeah, I definitely liked that each question I kind of going into the test, I knew generally how much I wanted to write for the whole answer, and that each one should generally be, the same as the others. But I know for our exam, or the exam that I took was, I think most questions had breakdowns within the question for percentage. So I still had to do some quick math in my head to say, okay, how much time should I generally spend on this part of the question versus, a bigger
Sure.
part. And then always, given that it's 40 minutes, there's enough time, in my opinion, to take a couple minutes and do a quick outline or like pause to think about structuring an answer because they are long, involved answers, and you want to make sure you stay on track, and not go off on a tangent and really focus on what they're looking for in the question. So that was comforting to me, saying, okay, 40 minutes is a lot of time. I can take a couple minutes and just do a quick, skeleton outline of where I want to go with this. And so that was definitely helpful.